The next lit term for the Little Fires unit is foregrounding, which is giving prominence to something in a literary work that would not be accentuated in ordinary discourse. There are a ton of examples in the first reading, but one that comes to mind is from page 10, and it reads, "Most communities just happen. The best are planned." The underlying philosophy being that everything could and should be planned out, and that by doing so, you could avoid the unseemly, the unpleasant, and the disastrous. Celestine spends a lot of time in this first chunk of reading describing Shaker Heights, not only the physical layout of the town, but also all the things that these people have done to make their community perfect, ideal, utopian. Um, all of the communities are planned. They've made every effort to make them look just so, even going as far as making duplexes, which is a dual housing unit, appear as a single family home so that there's no judgment in that duplex sort of lifestyle, which there's tons to unpack there alone. But for today, for our lit term, just be aware that Celestine really spends a lot of time foregrounding the perfect lifestyle in Shaker Heights. And certainly, as one of you, predicted in our first discussion, maybe that is, purposeful in the sense that, all of these lives may look perfect on the outside, but perhaps they aren't behind closed doors. Another thing that Celestine foregrounds in this first chunk and truly throughout the entire book is 90s culture. She set this book in the 1990s for a very specific reason, and she talks about this when she speaks in front of audiences. She talks about that the 90s was a really unique time because it was sort of in between when it comes to technology. People weren't walking around with cell phones necessarily, or at least teenagers weren't. Social media wasn't a thing. So all of these ways that people can contact one another and interact sort of weren't possible back then. But that also lends itself to different kinds of bullying and microaggressions and just different ways of interacting. So certainly 90s culture is foregrounded in this book, and you'll actually watch a video next that has to do with that.